Hi, howdy guys, welcome back. If you are tuning in, you are probably looking for a review on this palette. The collab between Disney called Disney Princess. It's the Cinderella palette by Sigma. It just came out a couple days ago. So if that's what you're looking for, stay tuned. Tune on in, you know, watch the video. Tell me what you think. Hold on, let me adjust you guys just a little. There we go. Anyway, if this is your first time here, feel free to reach down and hit like. If this is not your first time here, feel free to reach down and hit subscribe, then like. Either or, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Now, I ordered this the day it came out, but oddly enough, I did not order it from the Sigma website. I ordered it from the Sigma store on Amazon. They have their own store on Amazon, but the ship time is much better. That sounds terrible, I know. Let's take a peek at this. I was actually really struck by this palette. We've got, of course, the obligatory plastic piece to keep the shadows where they belong. And then this is the palette. And if you pick up the brushes that come with this palette, like this is one that comes with the palette, but they also came out with a series to go along with all of the stuff because they have like a blush and they have like they got two lipsticks. I think one's a gloss and one's a liquid lipstick actually. Then they have a couple brushes, and then obviously this palette. I mean, if you guys are curious, I would check it out. If you're huge Disney nuts, this is gonna just tickle you pink. Right here, they actually have Cinderella's, I guess, profile? I guess that's what you call it, on the actual brushes. And then these, we're gonna swatch them. Take a peek. We have Wishful, which is actually like a champagne-y pink. It looks like white in the video screen, but it's not. Wishful, Pumpkin, Fantasy, Courtyard, One of a Kind, Kindness, Charming, with Prince Charming's profile in it. I have questions on that one, but that is not relevant to this. Mischief, which is a nice matte black. Dressmakers, Cinders, Sweet Nightingale, Hopeful, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, and then Stroke at Midnight. Now this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes in it. Literally half of this palette is mattes, and then the other half is a mix of metallics and shimmers, depending on what it is. We're going to swatch all of them, let you guys have a look-see. I'll just start at the top and work my way across. That is Wishful. I'm not gonna lie, Courtyard of all things is probably the color that got my attention. It's like a grayish blue. Now, if you've never tried a Sigma palette, actually I really like their formula. It is very soft, it's very blendable. It's also very pigmented. See, and this last one is the one that really caught my eye. I don't know why. Like, I'm not a big blue person, but I do love grays. Like, if you've ever seen my Jeffree Star cremated review, I love grays. I love a gray palette. I love me some gray shades. But this definitely leans more like a blue. We're probably, I'm not gonna lie, when we try it out on our eyes, we're gonna try that color. Definitely, somehow, some way, we're gonna give it a whirl. I'll figure it out in the spur of the moment. Okay. That is really nice. That is actually really pretty. It's almost like a duochrome. Got purple, but it's silver. I kind of like the matte on that one. And then Charming. That gold is something else. Okay. See what I mean? Look at that black. That is some pigment on that black. Not even gonna pretend. That is a nice deep black. I'm not even gonna count this, like, okay, I guess this could be a fall palette it does have a lot of jewel tones, and a lot of fall palettes, that is what they're known for. The black one was giving a little bit of powder, but to be fair, the black is very, very pigmented, and they tend to do that. But I mean, this is jewel tones. I could see this being listed almost like a fall palette, but at the same time not, if that makes sense. Look at this one. That is the Sweet Nightingale. That is beautiful. I'm running out of arm. Ooh, Sweet Nightingale really looks nice too. And then this blue, so dark. Like when you're seeing it in person, it's definitely blue, but when you're looking at it on this camera, it comes across almost as a black. It's not, however, it is definitely a darker tone. Like that is definitely something I would use in the corner of my eye to deepen something up, but not over the whole eye. Contrary to what I did in the last video. Okay, and we're down to our last two shades. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. I have a dog, she sheds. Stroke of Midnight. And these are our last two. It's purple, but it's like a gray. It's really pretty, actually. And then the last one is actually like a eggplant. It's a really pretty black, purple. And that is your palette. Because I don't think I would classify it as a fall palette. A lot of the colors are deep jewel tones, which is usually what classifies as a fall. I would say this is probably leaning more towards a winter palette, if that makes any kind of sense, just because of the color story. Okay, we're going to prep our eyes. We're going to use our Too Faced 24-Hour Shadow Insurance. We're going to try a different look on each eye, or at least a different color story. See how they look together and how they blend. I literally put in contacts today just for this. Otherwise, I was just gonna skip and do housework, cleaning. You know, that's the thing about maternity leave. You suddenly have the time at home to do some of that weird cleaning that you always want to get done, but somehow you never ever get done. For example, my in-laws are visiting, and my father-in-law just put a new screen door on our front. So excited, like it matched the door so much better. And then later, I intend to see if I can have somebody pull out the dryer. I'm gonna clean behind the dryer first. There's dust bunnies, about as big as the dog. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We're gonna start off with Courtyard, the color that really attracted my attention to this. Let's see what we can make out of that. I'm gonna try the Sigma brushes. I'm not a big fan of the Sigma brushes. I keep trying with them, but you know how that goes. I think I like the ones from Target a little better. Just in the way they pick up eyeshadow and the way they work and the way they look, if that makes any kind of sense. This is not coming out as blue on camera as it is in person, which is weird. It's coming out, I think it's coming out more of the gray, which is okay. I like gray. I'm just a little surprised at how it's looking. Okay, that actually blends out really pretty, and it softens up really, really well. And just for grins and giggles, we're gonna put a little bit right there. Now the nice thing about Sigma is this is really not a company you have to build up. Like a lot of the shadows are straight out pigmented enough, you're good to go. Okay. Let's see, let's pick out that little brush. Let's deepen up the corner. And I'm gonna point out here, look at this. We're not getting a lot of fallout. We're really not. Sigma is actually a pretty good brand. You can end up with some fallout, but that's not often. It doesn't happen regularly. I'm gonna dip into Hopeful, which is the dark blue. Okay. And for grins and giggles, we're going to try out the metallics. Now the metallics in my experience are a little harder to apply, and it's not really their fault, if that makes any kind of sense. It's one of those formulas you almost think it has to be applied with your finger. But I have found the trick is more of a patting motion with a lot of these brushes, like when you're actually applying it. And let's see how much we can, ooh, okay, let's see what we can get out of the brush. Now this stained the brush, but thankfully Sigma's brush wash actually is a really good brush wash. Like the shampoo itself. Okay, let's see what we can do about softening up the edgings. This might just need the bigger brush. Super duper need to get the eyebrows shaped. I'm thinking of going back to purple hair. What do you guys think? Did anybody else find this like a temptation to purchase? Like, I will probably be avoiding most of the Christmas palettes. I'm not even gonna pretend. Like, I've seen Charlotte Tilbury's, and honestly, if you have the last 3 years of her Christmas palettes, holiday palettes, you don't need it. You've already got the colors. So I'm not gonna hand over that kind of money for something I already have. Okay, now let's do a wipe. Okay, we're coming up with pretty much no fallout. Now, usually with this, we're talking I would probably go with either a black or a very bright blue. It's hard to tell at this moment which way I would go. For an eyeliner, and then mascara wise, possibly Bad Gal Bangs blue or a nice black lash. Okay. Let's get close. Let's let you take a look, especially at the blue. Now, if we really wanted to up this color, the Sweet Nightingale. You can do it with your finger. Build up on that color, but honestly, as a metallic goes, as their usual formula goes, this one applies really well with a brush. So a little surprised by that. Now, let's see about blending the edge. I think in person this is actually a little bit softer looking. If and in person you can see that the actual gray goes a little bit higher into where my eyebrows would usually be shaped into. Let's try the orange. I am curious about pumpkin. Probably with Cinder. And maybe with Charming. We're gonna give it a whirl. What the hey? And for once we're actually gonna use the brush that's offered with. I don't tend to use brushes that come with palettes. I don't know why. Usually probably because they're double-ended, and I hate dual-ended brushes. It makes it a beast to clean. Okay, this color is pumpkin. Okay, this is, Sigma is known for their brushes. I think the brushes are okay. I think their eyeshadow formula is underrated, honestly. Like, I enjoy their eyeshadow formula. I'm not a fan of their liquid lipstick. I have ordered a regular, good old-fashioned lipstick, kind of waiting for that to arrive. I kind of want to try out that formula. Like, I love Charlotte Tilbury, but she is not a cheap gal. And at some point, my lipsticks are going to expire. If I can dupe some of these colors with a good formula, I will probably just not be repurchasing them as Charlotte Tilbury, even though I love them. Like, some of her more unique colors, could totally see. If you're looking at the freckled tan state of my skin, because of the insulin I had to take during my pregnancy, most people do not realize this. Most diabetes medication actually makes you sun sensitive, and insulin is no exception. Okay, so we've got our transitions shade and pumpkin on. Let's try out Cinders. Let's see if she is dark enough to be noticeable. Cinders is definitely a ruddy brown, but it's not quite the pumpkin. Like, the pumpkin is a mellow orange, I would call it, if that makes any kind of friggin' sense. Ooh, I like that color. Is really lovely. I see that as a color that will be getting used a lot more than I would normally expect to. It's okay. It's okay. If any of you are wondering what I'm doing off camera, it's called a switch pan. Got this off of Amazon. It's called a Vera Donna. Actually, I like this a lot better than the switch pan I got at Ulta. Ulta's was okay, but it died really quickly, or at least quickly for me. Now we're going to dip into Charming. Charming is that gold color. Just to see how it looks on the lid. Ooh, it's really pretty. I'm not a big fan of golds, but that one I like. I need to review the Ambience palette. I know it's been out for a minute, but I only recently acquired it. They ran a really good, basically buy one, get one half off. Well, it wasn't even that. I downloaded the Sigma app. Now, Sigma has its own app in the App Store. I downloaded the app, and it was a 40% off coupon from your total cart. And I got more than I should have. But I was very happy with it. I'm not going to lie. Now, my thing is, I hate drawing lines. When it comes to makeup. Now, I know a lot of people who are very into very crisp, defined lines, but I'm not into those. Like, I find sometimes they can detract from the color scheme and what you're doing. That is beautiful, actually. I am a little surprised. I don't usually like golds, but that is a lovely, lovely gold to go with. I like this palette. I am surprised. This is not the kind of palette. I am not a Disney princess kind of girl. Not a big fan of Disney. I spent part of my childhood in Germany with the fairy tales and the culture, and I find Disney a lot of times frustrating. Don't necessarily care for the way they portray females. I don't necessarily care for the way they do a lot of things or change the original stories. I understand why they do it, to make it more palatable for children, but I tend not to buy their stuff. I tend not to support their stuff. Just because for me that is like a personality quirk. So, we're gonna get up close. We're gonna see. Look at this. Let's see if I turn on the rest of the lighting. We have no fallout at all from this one. This is just beautiful. This one, if I were to put an eyeliner with it, we're talking probably a brown. And definitely a brown eye mascara. In case you're curious, I am currently waiting on the Jeffree Star F-Proof Brown Mascara. Because brown is actually a very underrated, I would say, mascara. It adds warmth, it adds a little bit of depth. It's something that most people don't get. They're going for the big, the bold, especially with the eyelashes these days. And I think the brown gets overlooked a lot, and it really shouldn't. Okay, there's the swatches for this. There is 2 different color stories. I think actually you have a lot of options with this. And I think as winter approaches and the holiday season approaches, this is going to be a really popular palette. Because you go everything from an almost champagne-y color down to the base matte black. So if you're looking for some depth, you've got it. You can do something basic like this, think fall, or something more dramatic for winter, for Christmas parties, for New Year's parties. Totally got it. And it comes in that Sigma formula, which is actually something I really do adore. It's a brand I had not heard of a year ago almost. And these days, I own a lot of their palettes. Like, there are some brands that I had heard of a lot before I really got into doing these videos. And I can honestly say some of these videos have definitely opened my eyes up to difference in quality and some things that are underrated. And I think the Sigma eyeshadow formula is underrated, honestly. So, final thoughts on this palette. If you're a fan of Disney, get it. If you like a very good formula for eyeshadow, I would say get it because, like I said, no fallout. Let's take their wipe test. It's got a higher pigment than a lot of people give it credit for, and it's got some pretty good staying power. This is probably going to take me some time to get off. I'll probably have to use a makeup remover because look at this. Like, some of these colors are just refusing to come off. Okay guys, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Did you guys pick up this palette? Are you contemplating this palette? I mean, are you looking for a new palette for the winter? I wouldn't call this a fall palette, but I would say if you're doing kind of like a dramatic looks for Christmas parties, this might be the palette for you. If you are just a Disney fan, I would pick up the whole collection, honestly, if you're a Disney fan. I'm not. I was more than a little horrified of how Disney redid some of the Cinderella story. That's just me. So I would say, feel free, get it. I like it. I would definitely, I don't regret purchasing it. This is a really nice palette. And it's going to take some work for me to wear it regularly because I do shy away from a lot of jewel tones. Not even going to pretend. There's a lot of tones I don't head to, and I actually bought this because it was gorgeous and I wanted to try some newer looks and get out of some of my comfort zone. So there's that. Okay, guys, leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you picked it up. Let me know if you were thinking of picking it up, if this was helpful in any way. And with that, I'm going to say, have a good day. Be careful. The Delta variant is still on the rise. We don't want anybody getting sick. Wear a mask, wash your hands. Social distancing. If you believe in vaccinations, get it. If you don't, it's a personal choice. It's your body. Totally get it too. Oh, and before I sign off, I'm just going to do one little thing. Sigma is a vegan company, guys. Yep, it is a cruelty-free vegan company, so keep that in mind. If that is a big thing for you, go for it. Okay, good. Thanks. Have a good day.